hours ago. You know, Dan had said last night that we could be getting anywhere from 1 to 3 inches here in the Tennessee Valley, and it looks like that's what we're getting.
The opposite way, off of the elevated portion of here at 565 to the Memorial Parkway access area that would allow traffic to come up here. As you can see, traffic is still flowing east and westbound on this elevated section of the roadway. But as you had mentioned, we have been told that some of the access roads spinning, losing control. That was just one of 3 vehicles that lost control up here on this elevated section of the roadway. So it is still very dangerous, but for some reason the Huntsville Police Department has chosen not to close the elevated section until just about now.
Of North Alabama, snowfall amounts of 1 to 2 inches are common in places like Muscle Shoals, Florence, Moulton, and Decatur. Snow falling is south now as Fayette, Carbon Hill, and Cullman. All of this in East Alabama is mostly rain. The bulk of the accumulating snow will likely stay up to our north. The big news for the weekend, very cold air. Wind chill values below 0 later tonight and tomorrow. I'm James Spann. A complete update on this.
Issued a snow advisory in much of the Tennessee Valley. Deep freeze 97 is your lead story this Friday, January 10th, 1997.
North Alabama, South Tennessee. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add from vantage point from Birmingham, Alabama. We'll add that precipitation on we're seeing from that vantage point. From Memphis, Tennessee, we'll add on that precipitation. And finally, from Nashville, Tennessee, we'll add that on there for you. This gives you a pretty clear picture of exactly all the precipitation.
Decatur, I think probably around 7-ish. Here in Huntsville, we'll say, I'd say around 7:15 Decatur, maybe more towards 7:45 here in Huntsville as this whole band west. And this was green earlier. Blue is a lower reflectivity. So once again, the snow has tapered a bit. And here is the back edge. Here's where it cuts off. So the accumulation.
An accident at Moores Mill Road that has been backing up this traffic. I assume that they've gotten that accident cleared up by now, but this traffic has still been backed up. One more look over here, and let me show you the other major highway in downtown Huntsville, in the city of Huntsville. This is North Parkway. You can see the northbound lanes. Both lanes are open. Both lanes southbound on the Parkway are still open. Traffic seems to be moving okay. Actually, as I mentioned a little bit earlier today, Holly and Brian, it's probably moving a little bit better than it normally does on just a normal day on Friday at rush hour. Traffic is still moving by. You're seeing some cars here on 565, even though they say they've closed it. It's still open for some folks. They've been driving on this sheet of ice pretty close to the speed limit. But we're going to stay here, and any more information that we have on the
here, people aren't coming out anymore. It was bumper to bumper all the way from north of Huntsville all the way up here close to Fayetteville. We're just before Fayetteville right now in Park City, and the traffic has died down quite a bit.
The snow away. And again, this is on the elevated portion, so it's going to freeze a lot quicker. That's why you've got the ice. But on the Parkway, you can see, as we showed you just a second ago, it looks more like it's just wet. I'm sure it's very slippery outside, but out there on that portion of the North Parkway, but it's not.
It's now below 0. We'll check that out on the computer here in just a second. But it's still snowing fairly well. I think it will snow probably lightly, at least in most locations, for another couple of hours. Off to the east, probably up until 8 or 9 o'clock. In the shoals, it should taper back to flurries here fairly shortly. Let's show you some temperatures right now across the area. It doesn't reach the 5 below in the. What we're going to do, I hope this is in inches. Anyhow, we'll get an idea. A little ruler here for you. I thought we'd take a quick glance at the snow on the deck here and just see how much snow we've had. Let me turn this around. Nate, do you know if this is in inches? That looks like, that's inches. Good, okay. Just put it in here and we'll see. Okay. And the answer is 1.2 inches of snow here in the backyard as of right now. And I don't know how well you can see this at home, but it is really still coming down here, and it's wind blown now, and it's really more miserable outside now than it was an hour ago, because heaviest snow band now over in DeKalb County in radar. And you can see that still it's snowing in the shoals back on up to Nashville, but the end is in sight there. A heavy band of snow now across Marshall County. That's moving into Jackson, DeKalb, and Cherokee counties. Here's a closer view. This is what we call the 124-mile regional radar view. Look at that big band of heavy snow passing just south of Huntsville, but you can see the edge of this is still a ways away. We could still in many areas see another half an inch to an inch, and off to the east, many of you thinking, well, we don't have that much on the ground. You're going to get it, especially in the higher elevations of DeKalb and Marshall counties. I might mention, looking at the radar, that I think High Top and Skyline may not get as much as they get in Marshall County. Looks like the heaviest snow bands are going to be just south of there this time. So the areas in Marshall County and DeKalb that had some ice the other night are going to get another pounding tonight.
At the same time, there it is, nonstop.
85%, the wind whipping in from the west at 22, gusting to 20. End of the heavy snow, it's finally stopped over in the shoals. We'll look on at about 35 miles an hour. So
cellular telephone problems, as well as telephone problems long distance as well. Lines are tied up as everyone's trying to check on their family members, make sure they got home today. Things in Park City, Tennessee and Lincoln County look remarkably well on the road, on the main road 231 this afternoon. Visibility is actually improved from what it was earlier. We had some real heavy snow, and as you can see, it's still coming down quite well. We have about 2 inches of snow on the ground, and folks are really taking it easy driving. They're doing very well. We have seen some cars off the road, but for the most part, people are doing very well. We've seen
into the valley. We'll continue to look upstream. You can see the snow starting to break out.
A lot of this simply is falling in the form of rain, especially from Interstate 20 around Heflin south to Roanoke and Wedowee. But the good news, the back edge of this is seen back up around Tupelo, so the snow should move quickly out of the state, out and about. Huntsville down to 27 in terms of the radar. The snow moving into the Shoals area a little before noon. It started up there between 11 o'clock and 11:30. You can see that band of snow steadily progressing eastward across the northern third of Alabama. A snow advisory, by the way, continues in effect here. But there's the back edge of the snow. It will be coming on through Muscle Shoals about 5:30 or 6 o'clock. The snow should end in Huntsville by 7, moving rapidly out of the state by 9 o'clock, so this will not last long. And again, if you're driving north, keep in mind there are some slick spots up in Canada and Alaska, and now it's here. There's the band of snow in the colder air.
Out there. We don't have any current conditions to give you in the control room. It's been that kind of an evening here, but we're going to show you the currents. The computer will put them up for us. And you're looking at pictures there of the snow as it fell, and we'll start off, I guess, with Doppler 19 radar. If you just punch that up full on Montesano Mountain. And because of that, you're not seeing as well as we might normally on the Doppler system, but pretty good band of snow over in DeKalb and Jackson, over in western Tennessee, and it's going to clear up here overnight, but it's going to be very cold by air disturbance. The back edge now just entering northwest Alabama. Here's the heavy snow over Marshall County and DeKalb County and Cherokee County, and then light snow will continue for at least 2 to 3 more hours, I think, across our neck of the woods. Here's a close-up view. Huntsville's right here, so we still have a pretty good patch of snow. Here's the heavy snow, and that's, again, right down there in southern Marshall into DeKalb and Cherokee counties with light snow. Now, you see it kind of looks light in here? Well, that's at the edge of, that's that next rat hole you've heard so much about. The radar doesn't see quite as well in there. I'd say you're still getting some pretty good moderate amounts of snow in Franklin and northern Jackson County, Alabama. Here's the Birmingham NEXRAD view. It also shows the heaviest snow now up into Marshall and DeKalb counties down toward Cherokee County, but light snow really continues all the way back almost to the state line, and I think that will slowly taper off from west edge. Here's that heavy snow band. Another view of it shows a pretty good band now across portions of Morgan, northeast Coleman around Joppa, and then back on over to DeKalb County as well. But you notice that it is starting to shrink. Here in the backyard, the flakes are tiny now, but it is just raining snow really coming down out here, and the wind also adding to it. Well, we're still having problems with the GOES 8 satellite, but here's our imagery showing this shortwave, this upper air disturbance causing this, is going to move on through this evening, and after that it will clear off. Look, it's 28 with moderate snow. That's going to have quite a bit of snow, probably 2 to 3 inches there. One last thing to look at, the current wind chill temperature. It's 50 in Birmingham, but the wind chill in Huntsville now is 2.
Drifting on by here, but let's check in and see exactly where the snow is and how much longer we can anticipate this. We're looking at 31's Doppler max with the assistance of NEXRAD southeast here and around our region. You can see the back edge of the significant snowfall is back over here toward North Mississippi. In fact, we'll just draw the back edge for you, and that's it right there. However, this continues punching to the east and southeast at about 40 miles an hour. And you folks over here in the Shoals now, you can expect to see this little band right there of some heavier snowfall on top of many of you as I speak, right on the Shoals proper, the Quad Cities area, plus back over here in Mississippi, the northeastern quadrant right here, that's a band of heavier snow also moving in toward the Shoals. So you folks over there, keep in mind now that that is heading in your general direction over toward the Shoals region. Let's go back.
And you just saw the parkway, and it just looks wet. So a big difference, and that just illustrates your point a little bit better. And
if you turn very suddenly or brake very suddenly, you'll start to slide and you'll become one of the cars that's
added to our 31 Doppler max. That's from the Nashville location right there, added to our 31 Doppler max. This is from our Columbus, Mississippi location, and this is from Memphis. Now add all that together, and what you get, of course, is the back edge, still in northeast Mississippi. It looks like it's going to be, it could be 9, 10 o'clock tonight before this snow is over.
Going, and a lot of traffic back on Jordan Lane, going northbound on Jordan Lane right now. The major problem, though, Heather, is up on Governor's Drive. Traffic is backed all the way up from the top of the mountain back down to the Parkway.
Patio, Jerry.
That's right, Brian. We are live in downtown Huntsville right now. Let me show you just a little bit about how much snow has actually fallen in downtown. You can see here on the patio at WHNT, somewhere about an inch has fallen since the snow started coming down a couple of hours